Hey everybody, welcome back to Travel Trailer Nation. I'm hoping that the third time's a charm because I've tried to record this video 3 times and I always seem to miss something. So I brought some notes along to make sure I don't miss anything this time, hopefully. But if I do, feel free to go down below. Tell me what I missed and what you think's important. But these are the things that I think you need to know before you leave the dealership with your new or used travel trailer. They are things that come up a lot of times with people that are new to travel trailers that didn't get the attention that they deserved at a dealership before they took possession of their travel trailer. Now, this is not related to the RV inspection. That you should have already had an independent inspection because I highly recommend it. I think if you don't get one, you're maybe setting yourself up for a lot of problems down the road. So an independent RV inspection is always like the best way to start. And then this stuff is what you need to know before you pull off the lot so that you have a good camping experience. So let's kind of run through the list. The first would be being able to hook up your tow vehicle. A lot of times people aren't aware of the appropriate way to tow up their new trailer to their tow vehicle. And I can tell you a quick story. Tammy and I were in Indiana at a campground. I had taken my girls, Hannah and Kendra, down to the dog park for a while, and we came back up. And on the way up, I could hear hammering going on. And I just figured it was someone staking out either a tent or a doormat, or maybe they were pounding a stake into the ground to tie out their dog. As soon as we got in the trailer and I let the girls go, Tammy said, "You need to go next door and help those people." Well, I looked across and it was a couple that had come in, an older couple that had come in, older than me, that had come in, and they had a brand new travel trailer and they had a big ball peen hammer out and they were just wailing on the hitch with it. They didn't know how to disconnect their trailer. So I went over and gave them a quick little lesson on hitching up and unhitching. So that's something you really need to know before you leave the dealership, is how to hitch it and how to unhitch it. And if you have to go through it 2 or 3 times with the tech, then do that, because that's what they're paid for. They're paid to make sure that you know your travel trailer before you leave and you know what to do. This would also include like hooking up the tow chains, the brake safety switch, and the power cord that runs from your trailer into your tow vehicle. So let's move on to the outside of the trailer, and we'll go around the outside of the trailer and then we'll move inside and talk about some things. So you should know how to level your trailer. You should have an understanding that you use leveling blocks to get you side to side and how you would do that, how to use the electric jack in front to raise and lower it front to back so that you can get level. There's a lot of reasons for being level. One, you don't want to roll out of bed on the floor. And second of all, everything is designed to work with a level trailer. And that includes your absorption refrigerator if you have one. It's less important if you have a residential. I don't know about a 12 volt, but everything works better when it's level, and it's very important for that refrigerator to be level. So is also the case with the tanks, the gray water tank, the black water tank. Everything drains better when that unit is level, and if you're not level, then don't expect to get your tanks drained properly, and don't expect that the sink and the shower drains will all the water will move towards them, because it won't. So being level is very important. You also need to know how to use the stabilizing jacks. Now remember, stabilizing jacks are not leveling jacks. They are stabilizing. They keep the trailer from rocking. You may have a couple different types. You may have either electric or you may have manual. I've had both. Actually, I prefer the manual myself because I can just hook up my drill to a socket and go really fast with it. The electric ones are fine too, but keep in mind, whichever one you have, you need to know how it operates. You'll need to know how to hook up your shore power. You'll need to know how to hook in your fresh water hose and the proper procedure for doing both of those. And I will say, make sure when you leave the lot Like the first thing you're going to buy is an electric management system. Some people refer to them as surge protectors, but an EMS is much better than just a simple surge protector. So get that. I recommend it. It's expensive, but hey, you know, so is replacing all the appliances in your trailer. So get that, and then also get a water pressure regulator. I have an adjustable one, but they do make one that you just plug in and it always keeps it at 40 psi. But I found that a lot of times that just doesn't do the trick. So I have the adjustable one, but you're going to need that, or you're going to blow pipes, potentially blow pipes inside your trailer if you end up in a campground where the water pressure is in excess, let's say, of 60 psi or 50 psi. So I try to stay under 50, and I'll put it this way, I stay under 50. So you should too, probably. So make sure you pick those up. Then also understand the difference between city water and the freshwater tank and how that operates, how you fill that. So in many cases, there's a little switch inside your storage area that will switch you back and forth between city water and your freshwater tank. And that allows you to fill the freshwater tank. You may also have an outside port that allows you to fill that tank, but you need to understand how those operate and what the process is for that. Because in many cases, to switch between them with the lever, you need to have no pressure on there at all to do that, or you're going to disrupt a washer in there, and then you're going to ruin that valve. So understand how that works so that you take care of it. Also understand how your water pump works, its location, and any switches that are used to alternate, as I said, between those two systems. And then understand where your low point drain valves are located. This would also include the freshwater drain valve as well. And then understand any connections that are outside, like in your storage area or otherwise, and how they work. This would include things like your 12-volt cutoff that turns the 12-volt power off in your trailer, your cable TV and satellite connections, etc., and whatever else you might have out there. Understand how it works, and then understand how to hook up your sewer hose. And make sure that you understand that very well. And not only that, but what the proper procedure is for using it. And that black tank flush valve, if you have one located on the outside of the trailer, where you hook in a hose and it basically sprays the inside of the black tank. This is a valve that you never want to walk away from when it's running, because if you leave and that fills your black tank up, let's say you left the valve closed, you're going to have a mess on the inside of your trailer that will probably render it unable to ever be used again. I heard a story where a guy had left to go to the hardware store with a person that was camping next to him and forgot that he had left that on with the gate valve closed, and his trailer was totaled. So understand that. Understand where all your dump handles are located, and keep in mind you may have multiple dump handles. So on one of our trailers, we had a gray dump handle up by the black water dump handle. We also had a gray water dump handle way far away from that upstream on the trailer. And so you need to know where they are and how to use them. And as I said, you really do need to understand how you use those, what the process is for using those. It's always the black water first and flushing with the gray to clean that hose out. So anyway, go through that whole process with your tech before you leave. Understand how to drain your water heater. We talked about the low point valves. A lot of people use that, and the water heater will drain from that. But as I've found that it doesn't, I would say it drains adequately, but maybe not completely. And I think there's always going to be a little water in there just because of the way that they're constructed. But understand how to pull that plug. And if you pull the plug, like I have a plastic plug on my water heater, I pull that and drain it. And then some people have an anode rod, and that's even more important that you're on top of that and pulling that and inspecting it often, because that thing is designed to degrade, and when it's degraded, you need to get a new one in there. So understand how to do that. Understand which type you have and what you need to do. Also understand how to bypass the water heater, because that's going to be important in the winter, understanding that. And I will do a winterizing video coming up probably, boy, I'd say November, December time frame, somewhere in there we'll do one. And get that done so you guys can see how that works. Also, any lights that operate from the storage area. So a lot of times the front cap has a light on it that may be switched on from under in the storage area. There's also lights that light up the storage area, so you want to understand where they're at and how they work, and then understand also the jack points for your trailer. Now if you have the owner's manual, you may find a lot of this information, but what I've found on every owner's manual I ever had is they're very generic. And so it's best to really make a list and go through with the person and understand it. And then you can always use the owner's manual as backup reference and make notes in it. So let's go inside and talk about the control panel as you walk in the door. You should understand what every switch is for. Typically they have a battery sensor on there. They have your tank sensors on there, gray and black. You may have awning switches on there. You may have light switches on there. You will certainly have a water heater switch on there, maybe both for using gas and or electric. So understand that and how it works, and then also understand how to properly operate any slide outs you have, keeping in mind that there are different types of slide outs. You should understand how to put them out, bring them in, and understand whatever maintenance is required on them, because it is going to be different depending on the slide unit you have. And then also understand how to open and close your awnings, what that process is like, and make sure they work. Also understand how to open and close any ceiling vents that you have and operate the fans that are there. And then as far as the windows go, I will say you should understand how to open them. They're usually pretty straightforward, but the most important thing around windows is locating that egress window in case there's an emergency, understanding how to open it so that you can get out in the case of an emergency. Also understand your propane CO2 detector, how that works, what it means, because there are a few different things that it will tell you, including if you have an electrical short with the trailer, like your converter goes out. Also understand where your fire extinguisher is located. Typically they're by the door, but it may be somewhere else. And by the way, I would buy an extra one or two and put them in different spots in the trailer, because that little fire extinguisher that comes with the trailer is pretty close to useless. Also understand how your heat and air conditioning operates and how you do that from your thermostat so that you understand it. You may also want to understand how to clean the filters on the air conditioner. There's no filter on the furnace, but you should keep the area where the furnace is located clean because it can get dirty. Less important are things like the use of the television, the sound system, the fireplace, the microwave. Those are all appliances that you should probably get a feel for how they operate, but I mean, a lot of that stuff is just the same as stuff that you have at your house. And I would say understand, lastly, the things that are not going to come with your trailer when you leave, which are things like the sewer hose, the hoses for your fresh water, and your black tank flush. You don't ever want to share those hoses. You want separate hoses. My hoses are different colors so that I know what I'm using. And then you'll also want to pick up water filters probably. And I would say that's like the bare minimum that you should know when you leave the dealership with your trailer, because you don't want to be out there struggling with trying to figure out how your trailer operates. So until next time, I hope this is helpful. If I've missed something, you think something's important, please drop a comment and like and subscribe. And until next time, happy camping.